Good evening, good evening. It's Monday once again, and that means just one thing: weather update. No, it's actually the Plastic Crack. It's actually the Plastic Crack podcast, season 6, episode 29. And tonight's subject is one that was sent in by Nick, and we thought it was so good we're going to do it. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly of wargaming. I wish Ken was here for this.
I saw Ken had appeared last week.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. He just appeared. He didn't let us know, did he? Just woof, he was there. It was just.
Yeah, I'd even sent him a message. Are you coming? And he didn't reply. And then boom, he was there. It's like, oh, all right.
Didn't he say he was too busy on the golf course and wasn't getting a signal?
That's right. He was on the golf course. What the heck is going on with that boy?
The golf course.
Are you joking? He
said he's in.
Yeah. He's now a member of a golf club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only because he can steal the balls and then trade them in.
I mean, I did say to you, chaps, we should have changed the passwords so he couldn't get back in, but just
as I said tonight, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly of wargaming. Obviously, very, very light-hearted, unless it comes to Napoleonic drummers, in which case, have at it. Good, bad, ugly. Hey, Steve. The real Steve is here early.
Hey.
So, yes, we could start proceedings straight away. Don't forget, we are sponsored by the folks over at Boards and Swords Hobbies. Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out on the web store for an additional 5% off your already discounted order. Big thank you to everyone that's watching on the catch-up. Always appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff, leave comments. Links to channels down below. Anything else that I need to do?
Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank your Auntie Bessie.
No, I think I've shilled everything that I can possibly. I'm going to more shilled out.
You are the best at it, I've got to say, out of all of us. You detest it the most, but you are quite good at it.
It's just because I want to get out of the way early. It just sometimes it annoys me when you put a video on and within 10 seconds, like, please subscribe. It's like, let me see your content first.
See whether it's worth it.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. But that's just me being an old curmudgeon when it comes to
he said curmudgeon. I was like, whoa.
What a brilliant word that is, Steve. I love
curmudgeon. I love the word curmudgeon.
I'm bringing that one back into the parliament. I love it.
It's just such a great word, curmudgeon. Yeah, it's and it's adequate as well. So how are we, chaps? How is everybody doing?
Absolutely great. Yeah, absolutely great.
I'm pretty good.
It's been a good week so far. Been very good. How about your good self?
I mean, it's only Monday, so you're setting your.
Well, I'm assuming from the last show, kind of thing. Yeah.
I was going to say it's Monday. As long as we can get Monday out of the way, that's the
main I did pop you chaps on for about 30 seconds last week between courses in our meal, and I looked up and Haley was just sort of looking at me. So I just pressed the off button. She was like, "I love them dearly, but why are they here on our anniversary?"
Yeah, I can.
Hey, you could have put us on the table. We could have had a good old chat.
You were on the you were on the table. You were on the table. You were on our kitchen table in between courses. Yeah,
that's dedication. That's absolute dedication.
Slightly ugly, if you ask me. Talking about tonight's.
Yes. Let's see. Before we get into that, let's see who's joined us tonight. So Bitty's here, David Baker, Nick Dawson, John Salby from a wet and soggy Miami. It's a very strange one, isn't it?
I feel like we need the Nelson or something like that at that point, just because of how rare it ever.
Carl Burke, Lionheart, Red, Steph. I hope you managed to get some painting done this week. I know your painting area was somewhat disturbed by your cat last week.
Yes.
So hope you've got a bit more space this room, mate. Rich M from County. Oh, he's on holiday in County Mayo, visiting Ireland. After torrential rain, visiting my family off the battlefield at Orgrim tomorrow.
Oh, cool. Isn't it compulsory it rains in Ireland? It's like Wales. It has to. Just the law.
I grew up in Ireland. I grew up in Belfast, and I can't remember it ever being sunny.
No.
got no memories of living in Ireland and it being any kind of sunshine. Remember,
Called the Emerald Isle for a reason.
Always raining. That's just my memories of
growing
up. It's just a lovely place. Richard is working on some Napoleonic Spanish lances that he printed. He thought he'd finished with 28mm naps. Now I'm building a Spanish army. I'm not saying it.
You can never be finished with the Napoleonic army. It just is impossible.
I was remarkably quickly, to be fair.
Well, you weren't even finished with the army. You were just finished with one unit, or just
yeah. I just didn't. No. Rob, grandson, very impressed with it. Thanks, Rob. Like I say, retro 40k, not for everybody, but I'm glad your grandson enjoyed it. Martin from a sunny Jersey, Andy Stocker, Paul's Paint Shed. Here we go. It's from it's in Mercia. It's turned out nice again.
That's what they said before a battle. It's turned out nice.
Nice again. Yeah.
Rich John has painted 3D printed Terminators. Carazette's here. Trevor Hodgkins, Grand Priego, Big Small Worlds. Lynn, Steve Harbour, he's cracking on with ACW for Crackcon 6, which is coming up remarkably fast, 5 weeks.
Yes, we have some Crackcon related merchandise. You might notice good. The t-shirt. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I couldn't get a better model. No. I'll spin it for you later. We'll try and get some better models for you. We've got Johnny Depp will come along and Scarlett Johansson or whatever. And,
yeah.
Cool.
Or Ken.
Or Ken. Nick Games, Double Dip, Friends of General Hay. Hello, Andy. Hope you're doing well. And Wet and Wild in Worcester. That sounds like a very niche magazine. Old school FRP from a very damp Texas. Wargaming of Kent. Hello, Ollie. Who are doing well? Camberwell Johnny. David Kerr. Pikes galore tonight. Is it right? Just me. The other week, what was I painting? It was when I was painting those landscapes. I only had 8 of them. And no matter where they were on my desk, I either knocked them over or pranged my arm on them. Is that just the thing with pikes? It's no matter where you put them, they're going to get in the way. Or
it's a little known fact that pikes have a homing mechanism to go straight into your hand,
to go straight,
or your arm, or your elbow.
That unit of Bicorn ones that I did for Hopton's regiment? No, Bard's regiment. My UCW look beautiful. It's like having a solid metal porcupine that just on the table. Oh man, it just hurts.
Because I'm not used to painting them. It doesn't matter what, no matter where. Lean across and get a paint wallop one in the arm. It's I just thought it was a phenomenon that was solely reserved for painting pike. Joseph is here from a pleasant North Carolina, working on some mangrove trees, recruit painting, working on Baron's War Retinue for Grand Melee in a few weeks. What else we got? James, cleaning some 100 Years War peri-metals tonight. Dave Benton, Ewok Kebab, mostly building Rome. It's a bit busy, isn't it? Thought it was already built.
Was it built on a day?
Oh, Mikey Blake, the real Steak, Lionheart. Building rockets is the bad for Martin.
I've forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Robin, Matt Wright, Mozart, Carl Jonas, Benjamin Christensen, Adam Kirtley, Dermot Conley from a dry dairy, Kevin Walters from the North Coast of Scotland. Oh, cat update. She's downstairs eating at the moment. Hopefully decide to go out after. Get some painting done then. CC Audi is painting Apaches. Seagulls and Spurs up, James. We got Blood Gang. He got some of the Battlecat STLs, Japanese World War II. They're awesome. You're a fan of those, aren't you? Yeah, Battlecat, yeah.
That's all of my Great Northern War are Battlecat. I do like them. Some of their, I don't feel that their renders that they put on like My Mini Factory and on their Kickstarters actually do them justice, because you get far more options than they ever say, and also I don't know, they look quite sort of heroically chunky on their fit, but they're not at all. Like I say, all my Great Northern War stuff I took the plunge, and I was really impressed. I've got all the Swedes to do as well at some point.
Ah, good stuff. And Wargaming History, Matt is here. He's painting French Lancers. Good mix of stuff that people are working on tonight. Speaking of which, what have we been up to? Let's go with Martin. What have you been up to?
Well, I've not done a great deal of painting. I've done a lot of gaming. So I've played a couple of games of 0-200 hours because I enjoy it.
Ooh,
But
nice.
I haven't filmed them just because it's nice to sometimes have games that you don't always film. Which was
allowed? I thought you'd
no, not around here. Not around here. But there were some moments in it that I kind of wish that we were filming, like the moment that the SAS planted the bomb and then the bomb went off and took out one of the SAS with it. I think my opponent lost more of his SAS to himself than to me. So yeah, that's good fun. But I've got kind of a lot of videos going through at the minute. I edited and got one up for Pillage, which I know you watched, Dom, against Matt, which was a good fun game where the Normans are trying to get the priests across the table, and my inept Saxon ambush kind of.
I'm going to say though, you are going to be burning in the in the hells of wherever.
I sat there trying to work out. There must be an easier way to do this. Just kill the priest. Just kill the priest.
Kill the priest.
It's the easy way. Just kill the priest. And we did sit there for a while going, is this allowed? Well, it must be, because otherwise how do they drop it? Like you said, So there was that. I've got a couple of other small videos on the way. I had a game of the Barons War against Robin. We upped the points to 700 this time. So here's some photos from this. So we decided to just play. There's a scenario just called attrition. So it's essentially a pitch battle. So we just played that. So there's a whole load of Fulkster, because Fulkster the Bear did a lot of warfare. Like he basically went rampaging around the Midlands and East Anglia with his merry band of the followers and just caused carnage. So that was sort of the center point of the battle before it all properly kicked off. But that's actually the deployment. That's how close you are in so the deployment zone, because you roll up random deployment zones, which I really like, because it means no matter how you set up a battlefield, you don't actually know where the objectives are going to place. So Robin's deployment zone was really. This one was really weird. He's in like a horseshoe. Do you see the knights in the field, like in the paddock at the top? So that's like the middle of the horseshoe. Then you can see his crossbow, his spearman on the road next to the house, and then on the opposite side. So he kind of enveloped me, and all I was allowed to deploy was in sort of a central spear thrust up the middle. But those are my crossbowmen in the field next to the house. So that's how close they could deploy at the start of the game. It's kind of like you've skipped the first 2 turns of movement. Yeah, which I quite enjoyed, actually. It got us into it. So that's one of the early parts of the battle. Here's Robin's forces looking down the road at my horrible lot that are working the way up, and then my knights got to see some action. So it's John Russell leading William de Harcourt, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but he was the one that everyone said was Gurning. It got them in, so that was good fun. And Dom, you will be pleased, lances are a one-use thing, and that is it.
Oh, good.
If you screw it up, I'm not saying I did, but if you screw it up, then
I think we know what happened then, don't we, Steve?
It's pretty evident, I think.
Yeah. It was no.
Does that mean you need a mounted man with a lance, a mounted man without a lance, and then a dismounted man for when your horse gets killed?
Pretty much. The other video I'm making is the one that I've been constantly asked to make for about that is how do I set up the boards? So I filmed myself setting this one up. And I've got to say, it was probably the single most stressful experience videoing that I'd ever had. Because I mean, people said they wanted it, so this is what they got. And I just sit there going, when I set up a battlefield, I do so much stuff second nature now. And then I had to keep on stopping and turning to the camera and be like, well, now I'm sprinkling things. The magic brush does come out for those people that won't see. And it was just stressful. It was so stressful because I realized I was doing things like I haven't explained what the hell I'm doing because I wanted to do it live. I didn't want to have to do a voiceover on it. So I've got a mic and I've got the camera up. And so it's kind of like a top down thing. So I think it's worked. There was one point when I realized that I'd set up half the battlefield and I hadn't turned the camera on. So I had to take it all down again. But yeah, so it's been good, and I'm doing some Lord of the Rings stuff tonight with sponges. So we should
I keep getting recommended videos about using sponges instead of paintbrushes.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm waiting to see how this turns out. I thought it might just be a bit of fun. My daughter and I watched the War of the Rohirrim, the animated Lord of the Rings that come out at Christmas. But it's based in Peter Jackson's thing, and because I've got the box set, she really, really wants to play it. So I'm painting things up for my daughter. But it's a nice little break from historicals. But if you want to see something that's going to be a little preview of what's going to be coming, hang on a second. Oh, I broke it. Shit. Oh well. There we go.
Ooh, nice.
And now I'm going to fix it. And some of these to go with it.
Ah.
Yeah. What about you guys? That's my.
Go on, Dom. What have you been up to? Much?
Well, similarly, actually, I haven't done that much this week. Actually, and genuinely, I haven't done much this week because between my wedding anniversary, my daughter's birthday, and various other things that are going on.
Real life, eh? Real life.
And I had to go away. I had to go and do some work. I had to go away for work. And then just what the heck is going on?
Oh yes, happy anniversary to you as well. I did.
Thank you, and to you, sir. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've survived another year.
Definitely us, yeah.
Yeah, definitely us. Jeez, yeah. Well, I think, yeah. Anyway, we know we're on to good things sometimes. So the only thing I did this week, I had my first game of Baron War, which was kind of fun. I was talking about this with Martin before we started. So it was our club AGM on Friday, so it takes up quite a lot of the evening, and so there isn't much time for anything else. So I said to John, let's have a go at bit of Baron War, because he was supposed to be painting up his force. He did 5 archers, so it was a bit one-sided. No, he used my forces. And we had a laugh, actually. It was good fun. There you go. There's just a couple of pictures.
4 penalties.
Yeah, that was... I was just saying to you earlier that Jono has an ability to roll 6s that you would not believe on his Canadian dice. I've now discovered it's been matched by his ability to roll 9s and 10s on a 10-sided dice. He absolutely butt-whipped me completely. It was the most brutal battle. Every combat, he cut me to pieces. So, yeah, it was... he did make quite a lot of mistakes. The first volley, you can just see his archers at the top there. Mine are down, basically behind the dice here on the right-hand corner. But they aren't there anymore because the first volley, he took out pretty much the entire load of my archers. But then we realised that we hadn't actually done the armour throw based on my fact mine had mail on. So there was a lot of mistakes were made, but it was a laugh, and we got a lot wrong. I did video it, but there's no way I'm showing it because it was also wrong. But it was. I think you've got to go through that with new rules, haven't you? Especially, they are quite crunchy and they are quite granular. You do have to work through a lot of things. But funny enough, Martin and I were just talking about this. But when you actually play a couple of games, once you played a game, you sort of a lot of it sort of goes in the head, even in an old head like mine. I can remember certain things. It's like, so next time we play, it'll be a lot quicker, I hope. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Funny enough, at the same in the club that night, there was another group playing their first game of Baron Wars, and every sort of half an hour we'd all sort of commune in the middle of the hall and say, so what do you do with this, and what do you do with this, and how did you play that rule? So they were much braver. They had cavalry and everything. We just
we waited till our third game before we introduced the horses.
Yeah,
it's definitely got a good flavor. I do like the flavor, and is obviously, I think Andy knows rule systems and he knows what he was trying to capture with the Barons' War, and I think he knows a lot historically about it as well in the way that warfare works for that period. And my problem that I said to you was I just kept on assuming the way things should be done, because I think a lot of the rules that I play, you kind of go, half an inch doesn't matter, an inch doesn't matter, so what? Yeah, just nudge that unit around the corner a little bit. No, in this it really, really matters. Like, you sort of, I'm not talking cheating by saying, a unit, my unit's in range. No, it isn't. But like when you're moving, like in this, when you charge in a straight line, then you stop. There's no going around the sides.
Yeah.
Unless you go, everyone has to go in a straight line. And that's because it's one of the few games where not everyone will fight in a unit. Only the people who are in base to base, and then people who are essentially within an inch of them. So if you've got like a 12 strong man unit, there's no way all of them are going to fight, unless they have something like spears. And I think just that switch, because we've talked a lot in the past about, I'm going to use that horrible word, streamlining. This is not a streamlined game, and I'm grateful for the fact it isn't. No. So when you've been playing a lot of rule systems that are like that, you just have that assumption. You kind of go into it, and there's no way of sort of slipping easily into this. It's just like, no, this is crunch. There is crunch.
It's quite old school in the way it plays.
Yeah.
Because we found that, like you say, you'd sort of think, well, I've got that basic idea. This is what you do. And you play it out and you go, oh, actually, now what happens because he's behind a wall? Now, and instead of in some rule books, you flip through and find that. But like Martin says, you almost have to work back through all the things. So, well, this is the situation. That's where it is.
Yeah,
it was not obvious. So there's no bloody index as well.
That's something that it does need. It's got a good glossary, but he does say he thinks it simulates combat well. Wargaming. I agree. I think it does. I think it really well. I very much like the morale system in it. Yeah. I do like the way morale works in it.
I didn't, because mine were all running away. Actually, John, you're absolutely right. It has a lot of similarities. I used to play Retinue, and Retinue is another level of crunch, but it has a lot of similarities. Actually, it's quite funny. So yeah, we enjoyed it, and we definitely will have another go of it. Although one of our regular that we play games with, Paul, came over at one point, and the faces he was pulling as we were playing skirmish games was quite amusing. So I'm not sure we'll get him to play it, but so maybe a week when he's not down, we'll play another one. So the only other things I did was I did some purveses for my Japanese.
Oh, nice.
So, I was about to say, for the House of York.
Actually, for the Oda clan, that's what they're for.
They were Yorkists.
I mean, it must have been. It's a long lost clan of the Yorkists out in feudal Japan, obviously. But yeah, so they're 3D printed, and just that was about all I had time to paint up. Really, I printed them up and had a bit of resin left in the vat, so I printed them out, and I did try and. So I can't remember who it is who shows off those amazing Japanese scenes in the Facebook page.
Kevin, yeah,
Kevin, geez. He posted where he got all the stuff, and it was Alien 3D or something, whatever it is. And I bought some STLs for things from there, and including the paddy fields that he has, which are amazing. Only to find out that the Mars 5 Pro has far too small a build plate to allow a paddy field in 28mm. So there were a lot of other things there. So Martin, I might be sending you a request to print out something for Crackcon.
I can do. Do you want me to send you the how-to guide to just chop something in half on the slicer? You're going to go?
No. I'd rather you did it for me. Okay. I did those. I can't remember whether I showed these last week, but whether it was last. I found I had a couple of. I had 4 archers. They're claymore ones, so I knocked those out the other day.
Sorry, I did see a couple of your pictures, and obviously your update as well. So, are a lot of these Japanese figures ones that you've already had in your rebasing, or these are the ones you built up over the year, or?
No, so some of them I've painted, but the vast majority of them I've cheated and had either commission painted or bought on eBay. So that little short I did on my channel of the setup battle, I would think probably about 75% of those were not my jobs. They were either commission painted for me or, as I say, bought through a guy on eBay. Because, like I said, Steve, I don't paint.
You don't paint samurai, do you?
No. I just had a complete mental block with them. I can't get on with it. I did finally do that Asagaro unit. I don't mind doing the peasants and that sort of thing. They've been easy to do, and the terrain's been easy to do. But I'm going to have another go at some more Asagaro. But yeah.
Are you going to use pike and shot?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to use the Warlord supplement. Yeah, I think we're not far off it, actually. I was talking to Paul when he was pulling faces about the Baron War game that we were playing, because he's got me into playing the samurai games. So I think probably in I'm away for a couple of weeks. So after we're back, I think we probably will get our first big samurai game running. So looking forward to that.
We need to decide, because obviously it'll be warfare, and I'm gonna come and impose on you probably.
Yeah,
either at a travel lot. I'm not going to impact it unless you want me. So we need to have a game. So either we're going to have one big game, or we're going to have to do like a Baron's War game and a samurai game, or we're going to have to do two smaller things.
Oh yes. Well, we have to talk about that. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, you're very welcome to come over. Not a problem.
Excellent.
Not a problem. So there you go. That's all I've been up to, Steve. Just that, really. That's all the painting.
No.
Pretty pathetic. Sorry, I would say I'd try and do better, but I won't this week. So there you go.
Apparently, so Steph said Midgard works well for samurai.
Good idea. Yeah, I could play it. I mean, they're all based up in. Talking about Midgard, there he is.
Speaking of Midgard, James is here.
Guys, he said his name. He said it 3 times, and he appeared.
I know.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? What have you been up to, mate?
Weirdness. So I'm in my 5th week now of painting nothing but retro 40k, and it's showing no sign of slowing down. So I've not painted much because I've been painting characters this week. So I was painting this last week on the stream. So that's an aspiring champion of Nurgle.
Oh, nice.
That I found.
That's what it was. Oh, damn.
That had been languishing in one of my bits boxes since about 2008. Poorly painted. His arms were all gone. He was on an awful base. But he's been repainted. I really, really enjoyed painting that. It was against another metal miniature. Strange for me, enjoying painting all these metal miniatures. But that was metal miniatures. But yeah, that was great. And then this one's plastic. So the other week I got off eBay a 10 plastic Chaos Space Marines. I think they're from about 2002, I believe. But they were all pre-assembled, weren't painted. But one of them's holding a massive great big banner. So I wanted to use them as an icon bearer for my Chaos Space Marines. And so that's him.
Yeah, nice.
I put one of the comments. As soon as I saw that helmet, I just thought of the Kurgan from Highlander. So that's why I painted it up like that. But while I was painting that, I missed my mate, and I said, "You know, you've got problems when you're painting a banner, and you think to yourself, "Nah, it doesn't look meaty enough." I wanted to look like sort of flayed flesh. But that was really enjoyable painting. There's loads of gold trim on it and metallics, and it was really, really enjoyable to paint. And here's the group shot of all my Chaos characters so far. So we've got Abaddon in the middle, and then we've got the Icon Bearer and the Plague Marine. So that's what I'm going to be painting this week. In fact, at the moment, I'm currently painting. These arrived on Friday. Martin, you might remember these. You know, the Plague Marines from 1996. The monopose ones. I managed to get 7 of them last week. No, 6. And just a random one that I had to convert into a flamer.
Well, that's good, because isn't 7 Nurgle's lucky number?
It is, I believe. But they've been they were not interesting to paint. Monopose are just horrible to paint.
I remember, and I can't remember what edition of 40k it was. I assume it was 5th or 6th. It's not like now where you can have a complete Death Guard army, or you can have a complete, corner World Eater army. You just had Khorne Berserkers, Plague Marines, Noise Marines, and whatever the Thousand Suns, and they were just one unit. And if you actually, there was no way to build it. The only way you could build it was by, if you're using the lists. This is probably where my hatred started from. I wanted the whole Death Guard army, so I built a whole Death Guard army, but there was no way to actually, only the Plague Marines had Feel No Pain. You couldn't give the Terminators Feel No Pain.
Right.
All they could do was take an icon of Nurgle and get like another +1 on their toughness, or whatever it did. So that's just reminded me, because I had icons everywhere, because it was the only way, if you're playing,
to get the abilities.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the second edition one with the Chaos Marines. You can take anything you want. You just take everything. It's just brilliant. It's just so much opportunity. So I'm painting them, and then I did a video over the weekend about my current obsession, and I did this for the this is my current Space Marine army as it is.
Oh my lord!
And
so
I've
cool. You've done the things. I missed that. You've done the balls with the
cactus.
Oh yeah, the spiky balls were last week. They were
spiky balls. They always remind me of Christmas.
I've wanted those for years, and then I thought, if I'm gonna do this properly, I'm gonna go in full pelt. And so I made some and it's just polystyrene balls glued together, covered in grit, painted green, and then kebab skewers stuck in top. It's but so iconic. And today I had another delivery from eBay today. I popped this on the group before, but this has arrived. This is Chief Librarian Tigerius, the Ultramarines librarian. 30 years old. 1995 that came out. And I got it for a ridiculously low price on eBay. I thought it was a mistake, but it wasn't. And it got delivered today.
Nice.
So I was properly chuffed with that. So that's what I'm up to this week. So I've got some more Death Guard, a few other bits and pieces, standard bearer for my Marines, and then just back onto eBay looking for several bits and pieces that are just, you never know. I go on there every day and just search for second edition stuff, and there's always something new. I saw somebody on there selling a box of those Plague Marines today. They wanted £150 for them.
I can believe that.
It was unopened. Well, they were unopened, but I got mine for a fraction of those, and they do the same thing. So I was.
And there's no good having an unopened box, because how do you play with that?
Exactly. Do you know what, Benjamin? I said,
put it on the table and move it around.
Sandwich bag, box. It doesn't matter. They're in there anyway. I really wish I could, but I've invested too much in these cork bases with the black rim. But yeah, if I could go back in time, I would certainly do them all goblin green with the sawdust on top of the bases. How much? I'll tell you how much it was, James. With P&P, it was £13, which is mad, absolutely mad cheap. For a figure of that age, I've seen them going for much more than that. And no, they didn't include sandwich bags at that price either. And another thing that happened this week, I've tried a new brush range.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, wow. What's the verdict? First?
Yeah, I'm sold. I noticed the other week, someone made a comment about the amount of times I was licking my brush. And it's because, so I used, for the past 13 years, I've used Winsor & Newton Series 7. Apart from that time when I dabbled with that experiment of using synthetic brushes and they were just shit, so I just stopped using them. Complete false economy. So I went back to using Winsor & Newton. The past 3 that I've used, I've not been impressed with. Even though I use brush soap after every painting session, all have brush protectors. I look after my brushes. In the past, my Winsor & Newton could last 2 years, 2.5 years. I'm barely getting any use out of these, and they're all losing their point really quickly. So last week I watched a video, just randomly appeared in my recommendations by Trovaria Miniatures. He was talking about different brush types, and he said the one he uses is called Raphael. I'd never heard of them. So that night I literally went on Amazon after the video and had one ordered. It's a size 1 actually, but the tip that it holds its point so well. I was so made up. There was no brush licking to get a point back. So I'm going to be using them moving forward. And they were slightly cheaper than Winsor & Newton as well, which I was quite grateful for, because they are quite heftily priced.
They are a little bit on the pricey side. Yeah.
Yes, they are. I tried to explain to my girlfriend the other day how much I paid for my 000. It took some explaining. But no, it's just weird using a new brush. And that that Chaos Icon Bearer, that was all painted using a new brush, and it was just it was great going back to a paintbrush that just retains its point for.
Did you feel vaguely sort of disloyal or
no? Because it stops me using paint. It stops me from consuming paint.
Cheating on your brushes.
It's weird though. It is weird because I've used them for years. When I first started using them, they were brilliant. But just I'd say the past 3 that I've bought, they've just the quality has just not been there. The point is lost really quickly. Even looking after them with, like I say, brush soap and regular cleaning. So yeah, so I think I'm going to be using these Raphael brushes. Yeah, matches, but yeah, Raphael. They're really nice brushes.
Good to know. Always good to know that. I must admit, I'm not good at looking after my brushes. I'm really not. But even so, the variability of even you say you get used to a brand that you like and you use it, and then suddenly it all goes to pot, and it just doesn't seem, for me, it just doesn't seem to work particularly well. The last ones I regularly could guarantee I loved, I bought from Russia. For some reason, it's a bit difficult to get hold of those now.
Really?
Yeah, funny that. So, and they were brilliant, every single one of them. But I think they've all pretty much worn out now. I might never might try out Raphael. I did get some of them from the war bases. They had some. I would quite.
This really, I mean, I've got the 1 so far, but I think I'll be buying more. Just the quality is just awesome. And again, it's just from watching a random recommended video about brushes, because actually I've used them for. You have your workhorse brushes. Those ones you get off Amazon, you get like 12 brushes for 12 quid. I use those for, like I say, just rough tasks, base coating, washes, stuff like that. But for my fine detail, I tend to have sort of 3 or 4 fine pointed ones. But yeah, it's just not been good recently. But yes, call me a convert to Raphael. That's what I'll be using moving forward. Absolutely, really, really, really good brushes. Right, on to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like I say, it's meant to be a bit lighthearted, especially with the bad and the ugly, because I saw some of the comments on the Facebook. Oh dear me. Okay, so have we all got an example of what you would perceive as being good in the hobby?
I'm going to start with the sheer variety and ranges of miniatures is good. There are so many different types of styles of figures, scales of figures, styles of figures. I think it's just amazing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And pretty much every war you could ever want to game, you will find said figures to fight that period, especially if you bring in 3D as a factor.
I was going to say, that's the thing now. I mean, if you think of the most random, obscure conflict, period, war, what have you. You could probably find miniatures for it somewhere.
Somewhere. You can guarantee somebody will have done it. Somebody. Yeah.
So is this counter to the? I know you're a seasoned veteran of the hobby, Dom.
That's such a nice way of putting that.
So that's a nice way of saying you're an old git. Yeah.
So back in day, was it a struggle sometimes?
Oh hell, God, yeah! It was an absolute nightmare. If you wanted, you know, I have a little bit of a penchant for slightly more obscure, certainly in the Napoleonic period, but for a lot of periods, I quite like the more obscure armies, and you just couldn't get them. I mean, so you'd have to sort of I don't know, take something close, and then sort of if you're really dedicated, which obviously I'm not, you'd file off, different plates, Shaco plates, or carve new ones in and what have you. I just didn't bother. I just paint them a different color. Yeah, it was really hard work. So I think, and if you wanted some obscure periods, I mean, I suppose some of that took some of the fun out of it. So if you were trying to do, I don't know, Wars of the Third Alliance, for instance, or whatever it is, the one down in Latin America that you're
the Triple Alliance, the nasty one, the really nasty one, yeah.
Really nasty one. Not that many wars are good.
No, I mean there's no nice ones, but this was particularly nasty.
Particularly nasty. So if you wanted to play that, for instance, or something similar, it was quite a challenge to go hunting for figures that would match it. So you get your reference books out from the library because internet didn't exist, and you didn't have, and you sort of saying, well, that looks like a French voltigeur of 1794, and you go and try and figures that match that, and then paint it different, that kind of stuff. So it was kind of fun. So I suppose that element's gone out of it, but just amazing. There's so much available. It's great. I see Richard talking about airfix. I mean, I remember fighting even things like the Battle of Waterloo, because originally when I think the original airfix 00 scale Napoleonics, you got British Hussars, French Cuirassiers, British infantry, and French infantry. That was pretty much it. So if you couldn't make it out of those, so you were sort of cutting heads off things, and bear in mind they were quite hard plastic, so they were quite tricky. Oh, Highlanders, yeah, thank you, Andy. Yeah, you're right. So you'd sort of, what can I make out of this? Well, if you chop off the head off the British Hussar and put a French Shaco on, he's a French Hussar. That kind of stuff. So kind of fun, but you didn't have the ranges.
But I know that the phrase "golden age" is bandied around quite a bit, but I think you're right. For accessibility to miniatures now, no matter whether the historical, fantasy, if you need it, you can find someone somewhere that's gonna be stocking it or making it. I think we're all lucky to be living in a time where you can do that.
I think part of the fun is that if you have an endearing passion for a particular period, it's relatively easy now, look at our learned friend over there, to actually commission somebody to produce a range of figures for you, or an individual. It's not like it used to be, where it costs a flipping absolute. I mean, it's not cheap, I know, but it's not. Not like you've got to go and get it spun as a metal figure and make sure there's no, it's doable now. So if you're particularly into a very obscure period and you really want to build a range for them, you can do that as well. So it's great. Great stuff.
Good stuff. Martin, what would you say, in your opinion, is a good...
Shall I just say it? I thought Dom was going to do it. The community. It's no, I mean it is. I mean, let's face it. The good is the community. I mean, we have an awesome community, no matter how much we take the piss out of each other. But that's part of the fun of it, is that everyone's got a good, generally, sense of humor, and most people generally know where the line is. But it's supportive, you know. It doesn't matter if you're painting 28mm French drummers, or I don't know, 6mm Vikings, or I don't know, some kind of shit tank from World War II that no one likes. There's people there to offer advice, and you know, across it. Now we'll come on to this in other parts of your bad and ugly, so we'll just focus on the good. I'm always amazed at especially in our little group, at the level of sort of support that can be given, especially if someone either has an issue or just can't find something out. So I think community is is definitely the positive. Certainly in the I would say it's since COVID, since we all, you know, since there has been a big push, I think, for gaming, because so many people had to find alternative ways to game and play, and they found groups, started YouTube channels. You know, I think that is one of the best things. I really do. And I think it feeds into so many other areas, like historical research, fantasy, like novels, fantasy, you know. If you're doing the YouTube thing, it's video editing. There's so many different aspects that it covers, and there's support there for all of them.
I was actually thinking about that the other day, prior to lockdown, and you know, how gamers found each other during that time. Different YouTube channels collaborating, groups being set up, people, you know, taking to social media to share what they're doing. I was thinking before that, I had a YouTube channel, but there wasn't. I still looking back, I still felt probably a bit isolated. I think that did, like Martin said, that was like a watershed moment. It just opened the community up, and people would just, you know, be able to share their ideas, share their battle reports, share what they're painting on, the pictures. And yeah, absolutely, it's grown since then. I mean, what was a particularly awful time, something really, really, really good did, you know, for the community and the hobby did come from it. It was I
feel like COVID almost brought the hobby out of the closet, didn't it? It's almost.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just because up to that point, as you say, I think there were lots of people playing games and doing silly things and what have you, but they were kind of a bit isolated, and suddenly we all sort of found each other as a much more of a community. I think it's an interesting one. And
it's definitely changed since then. It definitely has.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's an interesting thing from Steve. So, if it wasn't for you guys, I'd only be playing GW, as that is dominant around here. I think, again, it's a really good point. I think during that time when people were seeing what other people were working on, I'm like, I like the look of that. I mean, I think I'm a prime example of that. I mean, back then, all I worked on was World War II, primarily. 99.9% of the stuff that I was painting and working on was just bolt action. I rarely did anything else. But seeing what other
broken.
No, I'm just broken. But seeing what other people, I think again, that's a good point of the hobby. Is it's inspiration. Is now everyone's got some kind of platform or forum to show people what they've been working on, what they've been painting, what they've been playing. It's amazing. I mean, I know it's like a running gag, but when people say it's dangerous watching the podcast because, you know, their wallet is going to be affected the next day.
Yeah,
I think that is quite true. And you see what people are doing and you see what people are playing, and you think, I like the look of that.
Yeah. I think that do open up through the community. I hope we do open up a whole load of new things to people that they wouldn't necessarily get to, because I do think that's. I believe it's something we should all do. Those of us that have any kind of platform. That's a bit of a cliche, but having the opportunity to let people share different things that we just. I mean, I know there's been so many things people have shared that I've got into that I never would have known about. And it's just brilliant. I really, really like it. And I think the only thing I worry slightly, I mentioned this before a few times, but I the only thing that worries me a little bit of everyone sharing all their stuff, apart from the expense, is is people are so bloody good. And it does make you worry sometimes that anybody who comes straight into the hobby goes, oh my God, I can't possibly do that. And so I think that's why I do like to try and show. I hope everybody shares whatever they're working on, good, bad, or indifferent, because I think it is great to see.
No, it is.
A painted model is better than an unpainted one. Full stop.
I've always said if you're putting paint on a miniature, no matter whether you've been painting for 40 years or 4 days, you're still doing. Think of all the people that don't paint, that just have unpainted. You're doing more. You're painting your figures. And you should never be. I know I say this, it's going to sound slightly hypocritical. Never be scared to share your figures, even though I'm terrified every time I press a publish button or something like that. It's still something to. But I know it's a ridiculous notion, because especially within the PCP community, you're not going to get anyone saying, that's crap. Or
No.
You've done that wrong, or nothing like that. No one's ever going to be like that within our community anyway.
Right.
I think that's a really good part, and I think that positivity and that sort of welcoming, even, I think that is, that's probably going to help people getting into the hobby. It's going to be a lot more welcome and open to them. Another thing I found during lockdown and the months after that was people switching between game systems. I had quite a few people saying, they'd spent, the past 5, 6, 7 years playing whatever edition of 40k was out at that point. Yeah. Saying I'm trying bolt action. I found me and my friends found something different. Let's do some historicals. And then people who are doing historicals trying out, fantasy game systems and sci-fi systems. And I think that without the community demonstrating those types of games, you probably wouldn't have found out about them.
No.
I mean, games like for me, it'd be like Burrows and Badgers and Space Weirdos, and just those games that you wouldn't necessarily come across unless other people were playing them. I wouldn't have really found them. Again, I just think that's just a good part of the hobby at the moment. It's just the accessibility as well. Like you said with the miniatures, if you want a rule set, I mean, all you've got to do, as an example, is jump on Wargames Vault and just look at the massive amount of rules that are available on there for not very much money either, for a PDF. And if you want massive space battles, you can find some on there. If you want, naval battles, sprawling great dreadnoughts fight each other at sea, there's going to be rules in there for it. And I think that diversity and that level of just complete, whatever you want to play, there's going to be a game system or games rule set out there for you. Which again, Dom's got just reverting back it to day. I imagine how. So now, if I wanted a rule set, I could jump on Wargames, download a PDF, put it on my tablet, and I've got the rules in front of me there in about 2 minutes. Or if you see it on Amazon or something, have it delivered the next day. Back in day, was it difficult tracking down rules or getting hold of copies, or were they out of production?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, clearly there were still lots of sort of fairly unusual rule sets that would, because I guess the thing that was different then, which you sort of get with the downloaded rules, is that they weren't necessarily done to very high standards. So they'd just be like photocopied type rules, and full what was that early kind of photocopying that used to happen, but that kind of thing. And and so you'd go to a wargaming show or to a shop, and there would be
Alex,
lots of
Alex
books.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So what you
And
want
that's how
to
we
find
did it.
out? Yeah.
That's how you had to do it. So I think there was always those weird rule sets because they're very cheap to, well, not weird, but very unusual, different periods or very niche sets of rules that were largely down to somebody's just pure interest and passion, and they would write them and sell them. But I mean, I imagine you had to go really hunting for them. So there's certainly, I mean, maybe that's almost creeping into the bad thing now because there are so many rule systems. You look at, how many rule systems there are for Napoleonics, for instance. I mean, I actually scared to think how many there are. So that almost pushes people off into different ways. Where, back in the day, if we're going back to that one again, you used to get, probably there was only, you pay a bit of Newbury fast rules, there's a joke, or whatever it was, rule sets. Probably weren't quite so many of them. It was interesting. It's I think in some ways the rules haven't changed that much in terms of that variety, but the immediacy certainly has. You'd have to go hunting for rules, whereas now you just that's a pound. Well, I'll download that and give it a punt, see what happens, and it's there straight away. So
I was going to say, even that, from war games, for £3 or £4 for a rule set.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you don't like it. You've not exactly broken the bank. A couple of quid. I think having that accessibility and that. Yeah, I mean that's how I found out about Space Weirdos. We saw it on Adam from Tabletop Meetings was talking about it, and it was on War Games Vault, and I thought it was £4 off War Games Vault, and that £4 is given me one of the best games that I've ever played. I absolutely love it.
I do wonder,
and it's just some.
Sorry, carry on.
Oh, I guess it's just something like that where it was the immediacy. I mean, I saw it on a video, and the next day I downloaded it.
I wonder, it'd be interesting to know in the chat what people think as well, but do you think it's almost taken the creativity out of rules now because of that immediacy? It's like, I mean, I know myself, if I'm looking for a particular period, I'll go hunting on the internet and I'll probably find something, I'll download it and I'll play it, or probably just sit on the shelf if I'm honest, but whatever. Whereas again, in the past, people would actually create their own rule sets, their own rules, or clubs would do. Groups of friends would come together and produce their own rules. And I mean, it's not entirely gone out of it, that's for sure, but it's definitely doesn't seem quite as widespread as it was, where people were writing their own rules for a particular interest period, or even a campaign that they were particularly interested in doing. I don't know. Is that just me with my old timer head on? But it doesn't seem like it happens as often.
Yeah, I think, well, a little bit like the good thing now, like we've chatted about this before as well, but the internet and where technology and everything is at the minute, you don't have to be a publisher to get your rules out there. Quite a few of the rule sets I like is just by one person who's written the rules, they've trialed it, they've got games, then they go to someone like Gripping Beast or War Games Illustrated or someone else, and then they publish it because they can see it's popular. So I think that has allowed more sharing of stuff. I think there's quite a lot of rule sets out there where people are now encouraged to do it because they can set up a Facebook group and release some rules and people can just try it. Similarly with like wargaming figures, there's always that thing, is doing the resin printing going to put real, or physical minis out of business? But one thing it has done is there's some really, really talented sculptors now who've come along who do it in a digital medium, who didn't necessarily get jobs at Games Workshop, Warlord Games, or Perry, and they're contributing to it simply because they can share things that way. They can do it via Patreon. They get this following, and that's how they contribute. Otherwise, you're kind of cutting it off. So I think ultimately it is a net win, if that's the right sort of phrase. I mean, I've got 3 or 4 rule sets which are written by just sort of one-man bands who were just people, just gamers in clubs who've not managed to go that way and sort of self-publish and push things out. That's how Ruckus started. That started off as just a sort of a more skirmish version of Nevermind the Billhooks, and now it has a life of its own that Mike's done. There's that. There's not On Guard. What's it called? Can't remember what it's called. There's another one that's sort of Italian Wars sort of period. There's quite a few, but I also get your point. I don't know if people just I don't know. There's almost like an oversaturation of everything. I don't know. It could be, but as I say, so that's also a bad thing.
There was a point about 2 years, 18 months ago, where it seemed to be there's a new, 4 or 5 new rules being released every week. I think it was about this time 2 years ago. It just felt like every time I went on to Facebook or Instagram, it was a company, our new rules are coming out, and it just seemed to be maybe it was just me, but it was just this period where there was loads of new rules just all coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, a good example of what Martin just said, again, going back to Space Weirdos. So Casey Garsky that wrote Space Weirdos, that was initially, he's a solo, right? He writes on his own. And so he wrote this Space Weirdos just to be able to get figures, miniature agnostic figures, onto the tabletop for a quick skirmish game. And then I think he did a Kickstarter for Sword Weirdos. And then Void Fighters, which is his latest game, has just been published by Osprey.
That's cool.
So he's clearly doing something right. I mean, I picked up Void Fighters last week, and I've had a read through it, and it looks really good. I'm looking forward immensely to digging out my old X-wing ships and getting that on the tabletop, because it retains a lot of the Space Weirdos and Sword Weirdos rules, the dice types and the measuring sticks and the under fire tables. A lot of it is retained, so I'm looking forward to that. And again. A solo writer just writes games by himself, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it's lovely. I think possibly where it's different is that, when in the past when people were self-publishing something or just doing it, they do it to their club or their shop or wherever, their group of friends, they'd stick together. Now you can stick it up on eBay or stick it on, the internet or whatever. And suddenly the audience is there, or do a Facebook page. I would imagine, a bit like Ruckus and various other rule sets that have come along have come to fruition, which in the past they might not have done because of the internet. Suddenly you can put up a Facebook page, you can get people to play test them all around the world. You can suddenly
do a video showing it,
do videos talking about it, and suddenly boom, it's there, which is great.
Again, that's another good thing with YouTube now, and any other sort of social media formats. You can show people games. You can show them what they look like. You can show them how they play. Whereas imagine back in day, you couldn't do that.
And we still get the rules wrong. Well, I do. As long as you show you how to do it, and you still get them wrong.
I think that's a prime example. I know before you. And this is coming up in a future subject later in the month for this, about doing your research into, before you get involved in a new game. But I think a big one now is just jump on YouTube and put in, such and such battle report, or how do you play, X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance you're going to find a video of someone playing it and someone showing you how the game works with the format of the mechanics, etc. Again, that is great.
We do our research through YouTube, don't we? I mean, I know I do. If I'm thinking about a rule set or thinking I want to play something different, I'll go hunting for the videos, have a look at how people are playing it, if there's the videos online, and I'll go, yep, that's for me, or no, I won't bother with that one.
I'm going to walk away.
Yeah, I'll walk away.
So, did you do that with SPQR, Dom?
Funny enough, I didn't. I bought into the hype on that one, but there you go. Because I bought the pre-copy. I did do it with a certain other Second World War rule set, and quickly sold the rules. So there you go.
Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah.
Without playing it.
You didn't even play it. I thought you played one.
No. I saw a video of somebody play. Well, actually, a game of Graham down my club playing it, and I went, no.
My God, that's an executive decision right there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sometimes you got to know when you beat. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you got to know when you beat. Whereas SBQR, I carried on. We played about 4 games of it before we went, this is absolute crap.
Right.
So,
Would you class that as good though? So I imagine if you did that again a while ago, if you'd decide to invest in a game, you get the rules, you get the figures, and you play 4 games, you think, my God, I've made an absolutely catastrophic mistake here. Whereas you could just repurpose the figures now for other games. And
that's the beauty of historicals over some of the fantasy stuff, isn't it? I mean, on the whole, is that if you're playing Romans against Gallic troops, if you didn't like SBQR, there's a myriad of other rule systems that you can repurpose the figures, so you haven't wasted your money entirely.
No.
Whereas if I don't know, what's those little green men from Wargames Atlantic, the Quar. So if you bought into that, you didn't like the rules. It's a little bit more limiting on what you could actually use the figure. I mean, you could use them for anything, but it's unlikely.
Space Weirdos is the ideal.
Yeah, there you go.
But I know what you mean. They are very of a niche, because they're built for that game. I mean, you could definitely use them. Did you get around to painting any of your Quar?
No.
Okay, no, me neither.
I will do it at some point.
I say me as well.
I quite like the idea of doing them, but yeah, you haven't done yours either. So...
No, it's over a year now since I bought them. I've built 5 or 6, but I've never actually got around to painting them.
I got some to do as well. I've got a whole box to do.
Yes, I like the. Actually, I thought the rules I did read the rules for that, and I thought the rules actually looked quite fun.
But yeah, Don said he played them at a club in the States, and he said he was really impressed with how the rules actually played out. Really good.
I forget now what the mechanic was that particularly I thought, oh, that's really clever. But it was there was kind of a bit really, really good. Really clever system, and one day I'll play it, but not yet. And certainly not with Jono and Paul down the club. That's for sure.
I was going to say, if you ever float that idea, can you record it? So
I might have to get Alec involved in that one, because he's my guilty pleasure playing weird shit. So there you go. Alec is in the chat. Fancy a game of Quar, mate.
There we go. So double dip. I use my free Quar spree from Sleuthing Stargrave. Brilliant.
Hey, nice.
John, don't give us ideas, mate. Drunken Quar painting for the Christmas show. Oh God, no! We need to find out what grimness Sam's got lined up for us this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh God, no, not again. I'm not drinking that shit again.
I'm still traumatized after that one last year. God, it was like drinking concrete. It was awful.
It wasn't sorry, but like the first nice ice cold gulp wasn't that bad, and then it just got progressively thicker and just.
As it warmed up, it didn't go nice, did it?
No.
That last third, oh God, I was drinking in a storm with that. Oh God, the thought of that. Oh God, no. Oh, I'm having flashbacks here. Flashbacks, no. Right, we're on 9:10. Have we got any news?
Yes.
Yeah, actually quite a bit tonight, actually.
Oh, right. In that case, let's do a bit of news.
Do you want to start, Martin, or shall I?
You can start. I'm just finishing his arm, and then I've done 12.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with one actually I found for you, Steve.
Ooh.
I think you actually talked about this, so I'm going to put it up, and you can talk about it again.
Yes, Void Fighter. So this is the.
I thought you might talk a bit more than that, mate, but go on.
Okay. So this is the third game released by Casey Garskis, as I mentioned earlier, writer of the most excellent Space and Sword Weirdos.
He said that about a dozen times tonight.
I know. I'm having to open another can.
So this is set in, obviously, in space. It's ship-to-ship combat, dogfights, and I picked it up last week. I've had a read through. Really interesting. Mechanics. It's quite clever how he's taken the mechanics of a skirmish game and sort of also now use them in a ship-to-ship combat game. Really good. Again, you're encouraged to make up your own lore. It's really good. There's a lot more pages in it than his previous works. He's really been with Osprey. He's been really affording the opportunity to really flesh it out. The scenarios, the rules are still quite streamlined, shall we say? But the scenarios in there, obviously put a lot of work into it. I'm looking forward to it because it's been. I mean, apart from like I said, not played X-Wing for ages, and it could be nice trying a new space combat game. So, yep, looking forward to it.
There you go. Yeah. Also, Tabletop Workshop. I've got a new 15mm Hummel. Humber.
Yeah.
Humber is out. So Second World War one. So again, I think they're doing. Yeah, it says here they're doing the packs of 4 again, multi-part plastic. I did notice they said after all the feedback on their last kits that they would improve the assembling instructions. So I'll strike that a win for me, even though they're not sending me anything anymore. But I know, there you go.
You must have saw your video at your.
I did send them the video. I just said, you sent me the kit. It's only fair I'll send you this, but just so you know, put some bloody instructions in it that even an old fool like me can use. So anyway, but that's as they say there. I think this is available now, I believe. So I mean, I do like the fact they're doing actually what are very simple kits at a reasonable price, and you know, I think it's great. It's all good to see, and they seem to be in multiple ranges, so 15mm and 20mm. They seem to do. So yeah, all good. Also, Victrix showed off their upcoming Thorakites.
I did see those. Yeah.
Mighty fine. I know this will excite a lot of people who are doing ancients, which seems to have gone a bit quiet actually on the ancient front. But anyway, but I kind of like the idea of this. I'm still scratching that. I still feel like scratching that itch so these might be in my future. That's for sure. Torakitos are good. So there you go. Not sure when they're coming out. I don't think they had a date on them, but they do look mighty fine. What else did I have here? Yes, I knew. Now this got a lot of people very excited.
Oh yeah.
So this is Wargames Atlantic's latest 10mm army set. It's a little skelly bubs. I mean, look at them. Steve,
you gonna be investing in them, Dom? I might. They do look interesting. Yeah, I never say never. I've got quite a big 10mm undead army from my old rock minis, but they look really nice. I'm not gonna lie, they look really, really intriguing.
I mean, you get a shit ton of plastic for your money, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll do it, but every time I see these massed fantasy games, I think, you know what, I quite like the idea of it, but I've got too many other things. I need to finish off my blooming Hail Caesar, epic for Hail Caesar before I even think about anything small scale. What else? Bad Squiddo has got a Kickstarter going of women in the Second World War. So if you want some character figures for your games for the skirmish, it could be 0 to 100, I guess, could work with these.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're available at the moment if you go and check out Kickstarter. Also, Gringo 40s. We've got a new
yes,
of Cherokee Indians for their Indian War or Apache Comanche Wars, which is talk about niche. That's I mean, then I do like Green Go figures. They do a really nice job. So they're available now, as it says here. I think there's multiple sets, and what I do like, you can buy the figures individually, so you don't have to.
Right, okay.
So if it is for a proper skirmish game, or even if you want to incorporate them in, another period, then they're useful to you. So yeah, really cool. The other thing, talk about Victrix.
Yes, I saw those. Yeah,
Second World War, late war German heavy support weapon kits are available now, and they look really good, don't they?
They are. Yeah. I think they are. You get the one I bought earlier this year. The one I got in June from Phalanx.
Yeah,
it's the sprue from that. So there's a heavy weapon sprue in that kit, but I think they're selling it now individually.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've barely worked on that kit, even though it's really, really nice. That mortar kit is fantastic. It's just, like people have said, possibly the best World War II plastics out there for detail, scale, proportion. Yeah, really, really good.
Really, very nice indeed. And there is another one, but I need to go and find it. But while Martin's doing whatever he's talking about, there is one more bit which I know people got excited about. So Charlie Foxtrot said Colin said he was going to retire later this year, and that would be the end of Charlie Foxtrot train and all that kind of stuff. Well, he's sold the business to Blotz. So they bought the entire range. I think they got the date wrong there. March, I was going to say, yeah, 29-26. We might have a little while to wait.
I might not be around for that.
I'm not sure many of us will, mate. So I'm assuming that means 2026, but we'll see. 22, whatever. We'll find out. But yeah, good news. I think there seem to be a few of the stalwarts of the hobby retiring, and it's good to see that people are picking up the good products and what have you. So they should continue for a bit longer. So there you go. Over to you, Martin. Want to go scurrying for the one that doesn't seem to be
I mean, I'm going to fill in the weirder side of the of the news, because I've seen some quite fun things. Well, first of all, Flames of War and Battlefront, they're going. Pre-orders are up for Operation Progression from the 13th of September, and there's new plastic kits as well. I always enjoyed their books. Less so when I found out. I didn't like the little stories that were written in them. I thought the author was a hack.
He was terrible. I don't know who they got.
I don't know who he was. But Jesus Christ. No, I always really liked their books. I used them for lots of scenarios for other games as well. I've still got them actually, because I found the history sections really interesting as well. I just thought they were really good quality. I would say better than some of the other World War II games that are out, of the very popular ones.
They always did a good quality book. They were always.
That's not a comment on the rules. I just think their books are.
Yes,
really nice. So that's there. Now, have you heard of this game by Corvus Belli, who make Infinity, and it's their fantasy game, and it's called Warcrow? Have you heard of this?
I saw it again. Oddly, I was recommended a video today.
Right. I'm interested in it. It's very expensive. It's very niche. There's lots of tokens, lots of dials and things.
Dials.
Looks fun. Now hang on. I used this word and I got called a woke tosser. So hang on a minute. Bespoke. That's the word I used. Okay. I used the word bespoke, and then someone in my comments on my video called me a woke tosser.
Stop using weasel speak.
Oh yes, no, I forgot about that. Thank you. That was it. The actual comment was another woke tosser using weasel speak. That was it. Yeah. Because I used the word bespoke. Anyway, it has set dice for it, but it looks interesting. So it's an so it's a war game, adventure game, RPG, all in one. When I first looked at this, I wasn't very interested, and because there wasn't that much out for it. It seems to have exploded quite fast, and they do have pedigree with good miniatures. I do like Infinity miniatures. When I played Infinity, I really, really enjoyed it. You just need a lot of time. You think the rule book for Baron's War is bad? It is hard work, Dom. The Infinity rule book, this, Jesus Christ. So anyway, so I'm interested. So first of all, there was these. Now I can't remember what the hell these are. But I quite liked the look of them. I mean, these are all, I believe these are all metal as well. I think they're all metal. Pretty sure they are. I've watched some battle reports, Mini's nice, but check this out. Now, this is fucking ace. It's like a little baby golem controlling a bigger one. Look, there's the little one driving it. I just thought that was ace. I just really, but this model in the game, you can like put down area, terrain, and stuff. I'm never going to buy into this game. I just thought the concept of it was quite fun. But I just like the little baby golem that's really driving the bigger golem. I just thought that was quite cool. Dom could not give less of a shit if he tried. And then. We have.
Sorry, hang on. Oh, how amazing! Fantastic!
Look at it. Yeah, put that on the table when you're playing Jonathan. See what he says.
So, Dom, what would the reaction be if you rocked up at the club with that?
Now,
I think I might get thrown out.
Well, what if you rock up with these? Because you have a 3D printer now. Oh, I know you like Dragon Rampant and stuff like that.
Oh, I love it.
Now, I like Arc World and Warp Miniatures. You know, he does the twist, the whimsical versions. What do you think of these? I think these are amazing. It's like the clangers on acid.
My God. Brilliant.
So that is this month's Patreon.
I want them. I don't know what the hell I'd use them for, but they're
Dom, it's like six. Dom, it's like £6. It's like £6, and that's it. And you get the file. You Midgard. You could do a whole Midgard army of these things. You just have like. I just love the wizard. I'm sorry. I love them. I think they're
so cool.
And you know that he's going to do more because do you remember the gnomes that he did? You can have these flying gnomes. Do you remember those little gnomes?
Yes.
I've forgotten about those.
They are phenomenal. I remember seeing. I can't remember if I showed it to you, but there was those gnomes. There was a guy because the gnomes even at 28 mil are like
they're small.
They are really small. Wow. And some guy printed them off at 15 and then did just mass bases of them. Just so they were flooding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to admit, I just thought that was quite fun. I just thought they were ace. I love the wizard at the bottom.
They look like the Smash.
They do. Yes, they absolutely do.
You're dead right. You're dead right, Graham.
Oh God, I'm going to have their voice stuck in my head for the next 12 hours.
Yeah, Frostgrave. I mean, yeah, you could do pillage. You could play pillage with those things easily. Their dragons are. I've got a bunch of warp miniatures. In fact, I got my miniatures out the other day because I backed the very first Kickstarter and then didn't ever do anything with the stuff. And I was looking at them the other day, thinking, oh, I'll paint. I should really paint these up. The game looks quite fun as well, to be honest. But there's no time for shenanigans like that. Right. We need to talk Crackcon, and
yes.
First of all, there's going to be some info stuff going out about Crackcon to the people who are running games, and it's almost like homework. You're going to need to send us just a little paragraph about your game, some blurb about it. If it's a refight, very quickly, and I mean quickly. What the refight is, just sum it up in like an abstract that will go on the back of the book, not. We don't want the blow by blow.
Just a 5,000 word synopsis will be doing.
With maps.
I will be checking.
And
we're not going to check its historical accuracy, so we're relying on you. Can write whatever the hell you want. So you'll get those soon. The next thing, I need to watch my language now. The dice situation is currently what's the right
fluid.
word? fluid. That's a good word. That's a good word. There's just been some production issues with the ones with what we were with what we had, so we've had to go with something else. However, there will still be the option to buy additional dice. The price is probably going to be slightly higher because production costs have gone up, but also there will probably be a set amount of dice because we can't kind of do 2 orders. We essentially got to do one chunky order. So we've got to take a bit of a punt on how many dice we're going to sell and how many people want based on previous years' experiences. So we are going to sort that, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks you'll have that sorted. We are still doing the mugs, which are going to be the same price as last year, which was 10 quid. Is it 10 quid?
I think so.
I think it's 10 quid.
Like
I think it's 10 quid. So. And you have the t-shirt. So this year's t-shirt, which has been lovingly sported by myself. T-shirts have changed, but let me show it to you first. So this is this year's Crackcon t-shirt for those that want it. So you have our lovely To Hell and Crack logo, and I'll again just an awesome piece of art by Matt Klein. Do check out Matt's videos because he's in the group. He's putting together his own weird Vietnam based game, and he's working on his World War I rule set. Matt is he's an ex-Marine, he's an ex NYPD sketch artist. As you can see, his art is awesome, and he's a wargamer, and he's got some awesome Zulu War stuff on his channel as well. It's really cool. So go check him out. But so that's the front, and this time for the first time we have a back.
Yay.
We have a back. So there we go. So keeping it simple this year. This is available in figure hugging black. I'm just trying to think of other things. So figure hugging black, a sultry white or sort of off-white color, so sort of a cement color, if you like.
You're really selling it now, Martin.
I'm just trying to think. I was going to say something like the Stalingrad cement factory. So I was trying to think of the names for it. And then we have olive. So. We have olive drab, So we have those. Now, the t-shirts are working a bit differently. They're working exactly the same way as the dice. So people who want those, you just put in your order with us, and they'll be ready to collect on the day or the night before or whenever we see you. We will be able to post them out to people, but that will be additional P&P. The cost of t-shirts, because that's all gone up, is now £20 for a t-shirt. The all of the money and the profits go to the chosen charity. And this year we are supporting the same charity that Warlord were for I can't remember the name of the charity. That's all.
The brain tumor.
That's
charity.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. So that will be
it will go to that.
So
in terms of posting out,
so all goes to that. Now, the reason we've changed t-shirt suppliers is because, So I was going to say about the mailing out thing. We're going to have to work on how we do that internationally once we know what's happening there. Yeah.
So initially, I think we might have to worry about that.
Yeah. So at the moment, the t-shirt orders will only be for people who are coming to Crackcon and can collect them at Crackcon. And then if you want to take, if you're coming to Crackcon and you want it delivered to you, we'll have to sort it out. But if you're coming, you can then get it on the night or the day before. The reason we've changed the vendors is because these are a much nicer, high quality. I'd have to do it over here. Look. I was about to spin around on my chair, but I can't. So it is a very nice, very comfortable t-shirt. But also, these cost less to make slightly. Before on the t-shirts, we actually only made on every order, it was something like £2, and that's only £2 that we could give to a charity. So you guys were paying like £19 for the t-shirt, and 17 of that went to the people that printed them. These cost slightly less to make. That means we get to put more in the pot and make more charity. Just it means that you collect them at the event rather than later. We will be doing a bundle deal where you can get the dice, the mug, and the shirt all together, or the other sort of combinations. So yeah, that's it. It will be more information coming on games. There's some surprises coming out. If you are running a game, please post up stuff about your game in the group. Show models, show pictures. You might have seen Robin posted up a picture of the madness that he's commissioned for our St Albans game, where he's got an exact replica of the famous.
Slightly dotty. Then I saw that model and think, Jesus.
I felt bad because I you know how I sort of poke him with a stick to do scenery before our games, and I was like, oh, you could deal with the clock tower, and the next thing I know, there's this amazing clock tower photo. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out in the group. It's a replica of the big landmark in the middle of St Albans that would have been there for the battlefield, and that's going to be on our table, so do go and check it out. But that's it. If you've got any questions about any of this, please email us, and then we can yes, we can sort this out. But at the same time, anyone who is interested in addition, just let us know, and we will sort you out.
Lovely.
Cool. Right, so at 9:30.
Well, there was one other thing which I was hunting for, because I don't know.
Oh yeah, the news.
In the news, sorry, just one other thing, because they are absolutely beautiful figures. So 1898 figures, miniatures, whatever they're called. Amazing. 30-year war range has expanded. You can buy them through North Star, I think. But beautiful figures. So they got some another pipe block French regiment there for the 30-year war, plus a couple of new characters as well. So very, very nice models. Really,
cool.
really
they're rather nice, aren't they?
Yeah, rather spiffing.
They're very nice.
I think there's also some artillery as well, but I couldn't find a picture of that. So anyway, check that out. Coming soon to.
Can I just say? So I'm sorry. We should just had a couple of comments. First of all, James, yes, very much yes. Send me a message. It would be awesome if we can sort that out. Alid, we will sort it out in the next week or so. I imagine it will be around like the 30 or 35 mark. We just need we have to unfortunately work out numbers, and that isn't my strong point, which is why I don't like building lists. And Dwarven Mustache Hobbying, I know you've missed tickets. There are unfortunately, it looks like there are a couple of people who have fallen out. We do have a reserve list, so I've got to go through that first. But there might be some tickets available that are sort of coming up. So we will be in touch. If you haven't messaged us and said that you wanted to be on the reserve list, please do, and we will add your name. It's on the first come first serve kind of thing. So I know there's already a couple of people on there.
Yep.
There we go.
Sweet.
That's that.
Right, so we got. Let's concentrate on the bad and the ugly now, because I imagine this is going to be a lot funnier than the the good stuff. Okay, bad. What would you say is bad about the hobby?
What did I say was good? The community. What can be bad? The community.
The community.
In the most lovely way, I mean that. No, we all know. I mean, I don't think we need to sit there forever, ripping apart, button counters or over excessive,
overzealous,
overzealous people, who want to be involved. Because yes, people are passionate about things, and that's absolutely fine. And I think there's levels of it. Real Steve puts it right. Knobheads.
Well, you could tell he's from this neck of the woods, can't you? Knobheads.
Yeah, knobheads. That's like
gobshite.
Yeah.
That's another one from around here. Gobshite. There we go.
Yeah. But I mean, we've all experienced it. I mean, it's really a bit sort of like I don't know. It could be off-putting. At the same time, you talk about how welcoming the community is, and I think there's amazing examples in it. But equally, I can probably just go on any of the groups that I'm in, and I could probably find a post pretty quickly where it just gets very testy straight away, and someone I think could be looking at it and just be like, "Why would I want to be part of this?"
How many times have we popped something in our group chat? Check out this thread; it's hilarious.
Yeah,
because people are.
I can think of one in particular. Yes,
are bestowing their knowledge and wisdom on people who may not be too receptive to it. I mean, to be fair, my experience of that kind of thing is very, very few and far between. I don't know about, mileage may vary. When I was in the Bolt Action group, I used to get the occasional, as Steve said, knobhead that would leave, arse comments. And for the most part, I wouldn't engage with them. With people like that, I do not engage with them. I just, if that's how they get their yahoos, more power to them. I'm not gonna engage with you. Simple as that. But my experience is it's very, very, few and far between. So I'm quite grateful for that as well, because I just don't think losing your temper or being an absolute total whopper to someone because of toy soldiers. It's not a good look, really, is it? It's not a good look at all, and it says more about your character than it really should.
Considering how many knobheads there are in the real world,
yes,
I think we get away with it relatively lightly.
Yeah. No, I think we're absolutely doing to say that's the tongue in cheek of it, isn't it? I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're quite lucky. The group sort of self-police. Our group self-police.
Yeah, it does
quite nicely. But yeah, they're out there. They're out there.
They are out there. It's scary.
You're welcome, Robin. You're welcome. No, I mean it is. I mean, I can imagine there's a lot of it. I think, and people who run at YouTube channels as well. I mean, that was the one thing for me when setting the channel up that I was very hesitant about was, am I going to get absolute grief off people for saying the wrong thing or painting something the wrong color, which I have been in the past. But it's not been anywhere as near as bad. And I think our small slice of the online community is largely, to a degree, really positive. You do get the occasional, like say, knobhead, but for the most part, my experience is about the positives massively outweigh the negatives to a massive degree.
Yeah, I mean, I think like we were saying earlier, because it seems to have brought people out their shell a bit in terms of talking about the hobby. Cold kind of connectivity and internety stuff, particularly around COVID time, and everyone being, a lot of people were talking about it in the chat earlier about people coming back into the hobby after breaks and what have you because of COVID, seeing that. I think it's sort of, yeah, as you say, it's sort of, we've all sort of gone, you know what, I'm not quite as weird as I thought I was.
Yeah.
And in some cases thought, bloody hell, I'm lucky to be not as weird as Steve. That kind of stuff. But, it's, I just think, yeah, I do think it's not that prevalent, but when it does strike, it's quite noticeable. And there are some passionate is one way of putting it. It generally is people who are very passionate and they just don't seem to be able to turn the dial down, do they? They ramp it straight up to about 11 straight away. And yeah, there you go.
But I mean, it's kind of telling that, because I'm really struggling to think of anything bad. Maybe that's just me, but apart from those passionate types, I guess who want to give you their opinion in the form of an aluminium baseball bat. It's largely positive. My experience of the hobby has been largely positive.
Well, in the spirit of taking the same subject for good and bad, I'm going to go bad, as in figures. Too many. There's far too much choice. And I think, kind of almost for those of us with a certain tendency to be collectors rather than actual gamers, the tendency to buy more than you possibly will ever need in 3 lifetimes is very strong, and continue to buy them even after you've bought them. After you bought more than enough is definitely there. So I'm going to put that in my bad category, which is probably more my bad rather than the hobby's bad, but I'm going to take that one. There you go.
Well, and the fact that they can now be purchased with a drunken click of a button.
Very much so. Yeah. We asked Martin about that.
Yes. Although the strange, I may have mentioned this before, the strangest thing I've ever bought after a few years was a book, and it was the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology. And I bought it. I don't remember. And it turned up, and I was like, "What the hell was I doing?"
Did you really buy it, or was it just the witchcraft that made it? I
bought it. It was on Amazon, but I don't have any real recollection. It was secondhand as well, and it stunk. It stunk to high heaven. It was just musty and old, and yeah. So I can imagine, that's probably slightly better than waking up and finding you've bought an entire army.
Or in Alan's case, a whole shed.
Whole shed.
Yeah.
Remember that one? That one goes down in infamy. That one does. Brilliant.
So let's briefly run through the ugly, and then we'll get to some starred comments from the viewers. Ugly. I can't really think of anything ugly. It's tied to bad.
Figures. I'm going to go with that again.
Figures.
Too many figures.
I've gone good, bad, and ugly figures. God. And I'll tell you why. The bad figures for me is the fact that you can never settle for your collection, right? Because the quality is getting better and better and better. You kind of look at your collection sometimes, and you look at some of the older figures, and you go, I really ought to upgrade those. And the newer ones are so much nicer. Or there's a different range of figures out that you think, oh, blimey, that's so much better than the ones I've got. So that's why I'm going to put them as ugly, because it's like I've got ugly figures in my collection. I want the pretty ones.
Robin beat me to it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true. All right, that wins. That wins. Full stop.
I don't know. The ugly. I don't know. That's quite a hard one. Because I kind of assume that ugly also has to be so. I find it quite odd when rules writers and companies start having spats. That's quite ugly. I could think of 2, and they were releasing very similar miniatures at the same time, and I was just kind of like, I was like watching it, going, this is ludicrous. Just surely the sales will just in one cut, because one company, I don't know. I just find that whole thing like slightly. I mean, I find it laughable when people can compare, obviously, historic to just the sheer market volume that GW has. It doesn't matter if their stuff looks crap; their market share is huge. And as we've always said, they make some amazing models. They do cost a lot, but they do make some lovely models. But yeah, I just say the only time I've ever really seen it is rare. But when companies start having a crack at each other, I find that quite ugly. I just sit there, really, come on, it's kind of like the market traders having a scrap.
Yeah,
I find it amusing.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I mean, it's especially the historical side. It's a niche bloody hobby. Surely we all should work together a bit, or they should all work
exactly
to some degree. But yeah. I guess because it is a niche and people are fighting over the scraps, almost, it's like, well, it makes, if you feel that somebody's done you dirty, you're gonna cry about it, aren't you? Because it could be the distance between success or failure for the business. But
and again, it's an endemic of social media. It gives them that platform to be able to trade blows online like that. So, but yeah, it's all very unnecessary and a bit lack of decorum. Right, let's have a look at what other people have said. So, Camberwell Johnny, the good, the hobby, the bad, having to work to pay for the hobby, the ugly, the dirty protest my puppy just had in the lounge. Lovely stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. You that wins. That wins.
That wins.
That definitely wins. Old school FRP. Good. Local stores that still stock historicals on the racks.
Oh yeah.
There's absolutely no local stores around here at all.
No, actually there is one. Yeah.
None at all. What else we got? From John. Bad has got to be toxic players, especially at tournament level, but it filters down to club level gaming as well. I've been very fortunate that I've come up against very, very, very few toxic players, but I can imagine they exist and they're out there to spoil.
Yeah,
games.
I'm quite lucky. I play against I have a good group of like-minded friends. Well, I think they're like-minded. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the toxic player. I don't know. But no, I have a good group of friends that I can game with, and I'm very lucky.
No, I've only ever come across two, and they were both at X-Wing tournaments, and thankfully they were an anomaly in what was a great bunch of people. That I've
always been the few that you kind of gravitate to people who have a similar kind of outlook and desire to play the games the way you do. But of course, tournaments are difficult because by their nature, they're competitive to some degree. Yeah. And they're throwing people together who have different perceptions of what they want out of a night gaming or an afternoon gaming or a day gaming. So I guess it's always going to put that under pressure. But,
you just don't know. I always remember the very, very, very first tournament game of X-Wing I ever played. I was nervous. I'm only used to playing with my mates, and the first guy I played up against was the soundest guy I've ever come across. We were quoting from Star Wars. He was making TIE fighter noises. It was just a good intro into tournament gaming. I thought it was a really, really good game.
Yeah, and I must admit, in the years I used to do it, we had some cracking games. We had some absolute arse wipes, but it's just. But I think the majority of gamers, I think, have good hearts. I think they have a good intention. They may be a bit passionate sometimes. They may get a bit excited and carried away sometimes, but on the whole. Bloody toy soldiers. We're all interested in military history to some degree. We're all interested in,
I think that's the defense for everything. We're playing with toy soldiers, so just stop what you're doing. I think that should be the be all. Yeah, the be all and end all of it. Yeah. Lionheart, the good I would say the social side of the hobby. I would say social media helping the social side of the PCP. Yes, thank you. I'd like to think we do our little bit.
We try.
So back to mashing up Airfix figures. So there was a published recipe to convert Airfix French cuirassiers to saluted cataphracts. It was awful.
Oh my goodness!
How would that even work?
Please find that, Andy. I'm a complete botch job when I make any kind of conversions, but I want to try that. That is awesome.
I mean, I would like to see that video.
I would like to see that. It's like someone drank 8 cans of special brew and decided to write an article. Yeah, this will work.
Flipping heck, that is brutally. Oh, yeah, love it.
Red Steph, I used my Airfix World War I Germans as British infantry in the Zulu War with TARS and set supply in the Zulus. There we go.
There you go.
The joys of Airfix.
But we were all creative with. Is that all you had? Is that all you had in your collection? You were creative, and you just did. It's like, he's got the wrong, leggings on. It doesn't matter. It's fine. But,
Go on from Trevor is good. Positive support for newbies into the hobby. Absolutely. I think it's always great, especially in the Facebook group when we get someone who's new into the hobby, they're posting for the first time. And the support is always there. Always a really real nice welcome as well.
Do you know? I think also my experience of that extends beyond our group and some other groups online. There's even sort of in clubs and societies seem to be much more welcoming than they were. I remember as a young lad going into a club and it's like the grizzled veterans standing around the table and barely even grunted at you, and if let alone let you touch one of their precious figures. Was that I think clubs I know of, and even if you go down to conventions and what have you, people are much more welcoming.
Oh God, yeah.
Have a try, roll some dice, have a look at this, see what you think. And I just think that's changed so much in the hobby, which is brilliant.
It is. I know when I went to Phalanx in June, you only had to walk within 2 feet of a table, and someone was talking to you about the game.
Yeah.
It was really good. But the club I went to when I was a kid, like I said, the veteran grizzled games. If you walked up to their table, it was like a mosquito I'd
oh yeah, by. You were an annoyance.
You were an inconvenience. You were just in the way. Avert your eyes from my 6mm micro armor. From Andy, YouTube PCP is awesome, but it would not have even made it to the BBC Two late night Open University slot in the 1980s.
Cheers, Andy.
Good Crackcon Saturday night all you can eat buffet. Yes, that's a good shout. And one from Trevor. Bad, complicated rules, ugly fantasy button counters. Was once told I painted my orcs the wrong shade of green.
Oh dear.
Yes. Oh dearie me. Someone
that is
someone doesn't grasp the concept of fantasy, do they? Again, interesting point from John. So COVID might have also brought more people back into the hobby who'd lost interest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a big boom in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. I think didn't Yorkshire Dragoon, didn't Tim get into the hobby through lockdown? Like he just wanted a new hobby, so
yeah, I think so.
That's how he got into it.
Yeah, I think so.
So Alex, I think there's still plenty of people writing their own rules, especially at clubs. They just don't get them published. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah.
I think that's what I meant. I think they always have done. I think that was always the way. But actually now a lot of people do. It's relatively easy to just stick them up on a Facebook page or a blog or something, or do a couple of videos about it, and you'll get interest. So you will. They're getting out there more now. But yeah,
probably easier to get it play tested as well, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, if you can email, you can just email a copy to someone straight away. You've got the rules. To play test it. Major Clanger at the good, Calpe 28mm at the bad. Warlord Games new metal lance connects, head to glue on, a total pain. Do they come with separate heads?
Oh my goodness, really? I mean, why would you buy them anyway, Major Clanger? I'm just saying that. But geez, oh my God, that makes they drop even further in my estimation if you stick the heads on. Jeez.
Yeah, it's yeah. Nick, written my own rules for Crackcon, play test with my pals. It seemed to work fine. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Looking forward to that. More from Andy. Good thing about the hobby is seeing a completed project paraded on the table. Nothing better than seeing a finished army painted and on the table. Really good stuff.
It is deeply satisfying to lay out your figures and just go, oh, that looks good, doesn't it?
the other week when I dug out all my painted burrows and badges miniatures, it was the first time I'd seen them all set up properly. I was like, I've painted all of those, and they look really nice. Sugar and Spruce. So James Bad's a lot of hidden marketing, especially on YouTube, where people get stuff free and have to give positive reviews.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a way of imparting information. Like, I mean, you'd be silly if you receive something to not try and find a positive. Sometimes when you receive something, you are generally trying really hard to find something positive to say about it. So, you know, but I think there are things, absolutely you should call out. You should criticize where relevant. I think when people get really nitpicky about something, like if you're really searching to criticize it, it comes across. Because if it's if it's a good product, you should say it is. But it's like in sort of like the recent video I did. I'm just like, I don't understand why there's like a whole section missing from the book. I love the book. Why is it 20 pages shorter than the other books and missing this? I think that's perfectly bad. But no, I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you could just get contacted about stuff, and you. I say I've been contacted about something quite recently. I have no interest in doing it whatsoever, so I've just said no. Although I have noticed a lot of it popping up on lots of other channels, but I just flat went no. Sorry.
Again, I think people tend to realise when people are being, I don't know, disingenuous, shall we say? Yeah, I think if I think that to me, I watch some videos of people doing stuff, and I go, yeah, it really isn't. You don't really know what you're doing. Whereas conversely, when they're actually, positive about something and they genuinely love it, they are, and I think that shows through. I hope so. Anyway.
Yes, and I know what you mean. Right, we're almost at 10 o'clock, so just enough time to fly through some viewers' hobby pictures. Going to start up with Darren with some late Saxons, and I think, are they Vikings as well?
Oh, nice.
I think, yeah.
I like his fencing. Look really good. Sorry.
It's very nice.
I do like a good wattle fence.
Yeah, he posted quite a few pictures. Check out his post in the Facebook group. There's quite a few other photographs.
That is a good force for Saga, a good pillage force.
Yeah. Up next is John with some Wars of the Roses. There we go. I think he was painting and basing these on the stream last week. Again, cool. John's posted a few more pictures of these in the group, so they are nice. I do like the colours.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Very, very nice. Now, I love these because they're old. So Ian and I think I can't remember who the chap was. I apologise. We're using some 40k figures to play Xenos Rampant, but Ian was using some proper classic Rogue Trader orcs. Just look at those.
Oh yeah,
they are brilliant. They are fantastic. The knobs in Mega Armor, love them. And the old killer can at the back. Oh, memories. Dan with some classic orcs.
Oh my goodness!
Oh yes.
I think he said these are going to be also used. I think he's using them from the old world, but he's also going to base them for Dragon Rampant as well. But they are.
That's proper orc green, isn't it?
It's the correct orc green. If there's ever such a thing, right, Dom, prepare yourself for some weird shit.
Okay, here we go. I'm leaning
in. Has been working on some British for Trench Crusade. Now, there aren't any at the moment, so they've all got to be kit bashed, and so Carl's made them.
British?
They're British.
But they got Imperial Guard hats on.
Doesn't matter. It's grimdark. It's Trench Crusade, and they are very, very grim.
I think they are painted beautifully well. They get the atmos perfectly.
They're lovely. Very,
really,
very
really
grim. Like I said,
and that having read braid on that bloody front is very good.
Yeah, having read through the fluff for Trench Crusade, it's one of the darkest games you can really get at the moment. It definitely puts the dark in grim dark.
Keep my mouth shut.
Martin with a minor demon from upcoming Frostgrave.
I like that. I really like that. It's beautifully painted, and there's no. I don't mean this in a harsh way. There's no frills. It's a demon, no mace, wearing armor. There's no fancy flame. There's no tactical rock. There's no, he's here and he means business. I like that.
And now I've got Tribute by Tenacious D stuck in my head. Pat next, but with some Austrians. Look at all that white. Oh,
Wow.
Lovely.
oh wow. That's a lot.
That is awesome. That's a lot of white. That
is a
is
lot of white.
proper lot of white. Hope he was wearing sunglasses when he did them. Jeez.
They're fantastic. I mean, the fact that he can maintain the consistency of that quality across them all. Cracking work, Pat. Now this, we're going to get to see this live in October at Crackcon. Paul has been working on his African scenery. Look at that.
That's a very nice mat.
When I was scrolling through, as you do through the Facebook page, and saw him holding up that mat, I thought somebody had a medical incident. But to see it laid out like that is brilliant.
It's brilliant,
Really
isn't it?
good.
It's really so imaginative work going on there. Like I say, I can't wait to see that live and in person. Some World War II armour up next from Sam. We've got a Sherman, a Stug, and a Puma.
Oh, nice.
Go into a bar and the Stug system.
Again, look, some lovely camouflage on the German armour there. Really nice stuff. Silas was playing. I think he's using the pull pally rules, but for his own sort of slant on them. This is one of his games being played. That's a fantastic setup.
Oh, nice!
Wow, that's lovely.
That is so cool. Really nice. Again, we always love to see what people have been playing as well as painting. Now these again. So these are old Citadel miniatures that Steve has been collecting for the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. Yes, those are the classic ones.
Classic. He said he's been picking these up every so often off eBay. But apparently it's a massive collection, so it's going to take him a good while to work.
I love
through,
those.
but...
Really nice. That's back when it's just Citadel miniatures.
Yes. Definitely, they've got that classic fantasy vibe about them, haven't they? It's just really
I like those.
Really nice.
Really nice.
Again, Dom, brace yourself for some weird shit. So Warren has been another member of the group to buy the one I was working on, the Maggot Kin of Nurgle. What's the game? Spearhead box. So he's painted this Blight King. It's awesome.
Oh, nice. Look at that armor.
I know. Really nice. I mean, Dom, you look confused there, mate.
His captured head on his belt is bigger than his real head. Like, what the hell?
It's Nurgle.
Okay, fair enough. Continue.
And last but not least, Stephen with a shot from a game he was playing, Soldiers of Napoleon. I know there's several fans of that on here, and there's a shot from one of his games.
Oh wow,
lovely!
Oh wow,
I do love that game.
Wow,
lovely stuff there, Stephen. Again, massive thank you to everyone that posts in the Facebook group. If you aren't a member, you should be. So there's a link in the description below. Head over there, answer Dom's questions 3. Yes, please. Because
please do.
Yeah,
please do. Just to point, if you invite someone, they don't get the questions, and ergo they won't get into the group. They're declined. So.
Well, they might do if I like the look of their profile, but
God, your tune's changed, hasn't it? God, the other week it was. Yeah. No one should be admitted on the.
Nobody shall pass. Well,
yes, none shall pass without the 3 questions being asked. But yeah. Join the group, it's great. We're rapidly approaching 2,000 members there.
Wow,
we are.
And if you ever need any inspiration for new projects, new games, new rules, that's the place. Really fantastic. Place.
If you don't want to spend any money, don't go there.
Don't go there. It's bad. Yeah. If you don't fancy open wallet surgery, avoid the avoid the group at all costs. But just there's a link down below. Head across there and join. So we are officially.
If you're new, if you're new to the hobby and you're really, looking for some advice, go there because there's a lot of wise individuals who will, and then there's us.
I was about to say there's a lot of dumbasses as well, but like,
Yeah. What's the plan when
out.
we reach? What's the plan when we reach 2,000? I think I don't know. Dom, will you be attending a 40k convention in mass celebration?
We'll do our quaz, shall we? We'll do that.
Yes.
We'll
Okay.
do
When we reach 2,000 in the group, we will each paint a qua.
one qua.
One qua.
One qua.
Brilliant. Right. Again, thanks everybody for joining us. Really appreciate it. Really interesting. I enjoyed that chat immensely. Where are we next week?
Next week we are on my channel because we are without young Dominic. Next week we're on my channel, and I've chosen unlikely heroes, the unsung units that always punch above their weight. So what are the units in the games that really, who are the real heroes? Who do all the heavy lifting? I'm not talking about the 95th rifles and all that bullshit. I mean, like, you know, who are the real heroes? Is it the Hanoverians? Is it the militias? Is it is it the auxiliaries in your Roman cohort? So that's what we're going to be chatting about. Then the following week, because Dom's still away, we're back with Steve, and he mentioned earlier, because we're going to be talking about before you invest in researching games. And then at the end of the month, because it's a 5 Monday month, we are back on my channel, and we're going to be having a laugh with Wargaming expectations versus reality. And that night we're going to be joined by Alex from Storm Steel, because he's going to, when we haven't caught up with Alex for a little while, so he's going to join us for that one, and it will be a right laugh, as they say. So
I can imagine.
We're looking forward to it. But yeah, next week over on my channel, I want to hear about your most boring unit and why it's your most important unit.
Top stuff. Right, everybody, take care. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your hobbying week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.